Hi boys and girls, in this video we're going to be working on lesson 10. So the basics of this is that we're going to be using distributive property to take one big rectangle and we're going to divide it into two smaller rectangles and then put them together at the same time while measuring their area. So for the first one, we have a big rectangle that is 8 squares by 7 squares. So they took the 8 and they split it into 5 and 3. So this 8 is broken into 5 and 3, which is 5 here and 3 here. The 7 stays the same because this is the same as distributive property normally. So first you do 5 times 7 plus 3 times 7. Okay, so essentially you would be taking these smaller rectangles and doing the area for each one. So first it would be the top rectangle, which is 5 times 7. So we're going to do 5 times 7, which gives us 35. And then we're going to do the smaller rectangle, 3 times 7. So all of this is 35 here. Okay. And then we do 3 times 7, which is 21. Okay. And then we're going to add the two rectangles together to give us the area of the whole rectangle. Okay. So this is 6. This is 5. So the total area for the big rectangle, the whole thing, is 56 square units. All right, we're going to try again for this one. So in this one, the whole rectangle is 12 times 4. Okay, so 4 here, and there's 12. They split the rectangle here. So if there's 2 here, to make 12, we know that over here is 10. And you could either count the squares yourself, or you can subtract 12 minus 2, which gives us 10. Okay, so for the first one, so now it becomes 12 is no longer 12. It is now 10 plus 2. So now we're going to multiply 10 times 4, okay, for the big rectangle, 10 times 4 to find that area there. And then we're going to do for the smaller one, 2 times 4. So 10 times 4 is 40. 2 times 4 is 8. And then we're going to add 40 plus 8, which gives us 48. So the area of this whole rectangle, the whole entire thing, is 48. Notice how we're using distributive property. Okay, down here we have 6 times 13. That's the whole rectangle. Okay, 6 times 13. Then they broke it up here, break apart, just like distributive property. Okay, this side is 3, and this side is 10. Okay, so this 13 became 10 plus 3. Now we do the gray rectangle for area. 6 times 10. Oops, 6 times 10. And then for the white rectangle, we do 6 times 3. Now 6 times 10 is equal to 60. Okay, and 6 times 3 gives us 18. And now we add the two rectangles together. Okay, so then this would give us 78. So the area of the whole rectangle, both the gray and the white, is 78. This is a 10. Okay. Okay, finally in this one, okay, they don't label it. They let you do it on your own. Okay, so we know that the rectangle is 8 by 12, but we need to figure out which side is 8 and which side is 12. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this side is 8. And we count for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this side is 12. But we know that they broke it and they split it here, that this side was going to be 2. Okay, so then this side is going to be 10. Now we're going to multiply the gray for area. 8 times 10. And then the white, 8 times 2. 8 times 10 gives us 80. 8 times 2 gives us 16. We add them together to get the whole area of the whole rectangle. And we get 96. Okay, I'm going to pause here, or you can pause the video here, so that way you can do the rest of the work on your own. And when you are done doing all your work, including your homework, you can come back to this video to check to see that your answer is correct. Good luck. Okay, now we will continue checking our work. So at this point, you should have already answered all the questions in the packet, and you are just going over it for review. So in this question, it says Vincent imagines one more row of 8 to find the total area of 9 times 8 rectangle. Explain how this could help him solve 9 times 8. So this would be that Vince probably has a hard time knowing what 9 times 8 is. So instead of doing 9 times 8, he pretends that he's doing 10 times 8. So for 10 times 8, Vince probably knows that it's 80, which makes it easier for him. So to find 9 times 8, Vince probably just subtracts 80 minus 8, which would get him 72. Doing 10 times 8 for pretend helps him visualize the problem. So in this case, this is 9 and this is 8. And then here, when he imagined, this would be one more. Okay, times 8. So here we would have 9 times 8, which gives us 72. And over here we would have 1 times 8, which gives you 8, which was 80, which is what he pretended. It was just to make it easier to figure out what 9 times 8 is. But I know that a lot of you guys already know what 9 times 8 is. Okay. For here it says break the 15 times 5 rectangle into 2 rectangles by shading the smaller rectangle within it. Then find the sum of the areas of the 2 smaller rectangles to show how it relates to the total area. Explain your thinking. So in this one, there could be many different answers because, of course, I'm not there and all of you will probably break it up into however you feel. So as long as you end up getting the correct answer when I'm done with this, then you did it right. So in this case, this is the 5. Okay, so it's rows of 5. And there are 15 of them. So I'm going to break the 15 into 5 and 10. So I'm going to break it here, distributive property. Okay, so here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here we have 10. Okay, so using distributive property. First, I had 15 times 5. Too hard. Maybe not for everybody, but for some. So you're going to break the 15 to 10 plus 5, which is much easier. And then we're going to do that times 5. Now, from there, we're going to first multiply 10 times this 5, right? The bigger rectangle, this one, 10 times 5, parentheses, plus 5 times 5. Okay, which is this smaller one. 5 times 5. See how they're two separate ones? Okay. And then we're going to do 10 times 5, which is 50. We're going to add it. We're going to do 5 times 5, which is 25. Okay, so this is total 50. This is the total area is 25. Okay. Now when we add them together, that's going to be the whole entire rectangle, the whole thing. Okay, so that'll be 5, 75. Okay, so 15 times 5 is 75. There you go. Here's the next page. Okay, so we had to label the side lengths of the shaded and unshaded rectangles, then find the total area of the large rectangle by adding the areas of the two smaller rectangles. So again, just distributive property. Okay, here's where they broke it apart. So we have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8. So that means the 7 is here. They split the 7 into 5 and 2. Okay, so we're going to put here 5, 8 times 5, and 8 times 2. So in this one, we have 8 times 5, which is the gray rectangle. And then here we have 8 times 2, which is the white rectangle. Okay, sorry about the shakiness of the video. Trying to make it not shake. Okay, so 8 times 5 gives us 40. And 8 times 2 gives us 16. Okay, and then we're going to add 40 plus 16. Okay, which gives us 56. So the total area of the whole thing, the gray and the white, is 56. Okay, over here we have 9 times 13. Okay, so we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9 on this side, so that means that 13 is up here. Okay, we need to see where did they break it apart. So they broke the 13. This is 3, so this is 10. So here we have 9 times 10 and 3, which make us the 13. That's what we broke apart. Then we're going to do the gray, 9 times 10, and the white, 9 times 3. Okay, 9 times 10 is 90, and 9 times 3 is 27. And we're going to add them together. So 117 is the total area. Okay. Okay. Finally, here's the homework part. So in the first one, we had to label the side lengths of the shaded and unshaded rectangles, then find the total area of the large rectangle by adding the areas of the two smaller rectangles. So again, just using distributive property. The first one is split here, okay, into gray and white. So we're going to have the 9 is what was separated, and 9 was separated into 5 and 4, okay, because 5 plus 4 equals 9. And we're going to multiply both by 8. So first we're going to do 5 times 8 for the gray rectangle, and then we're going to do 4 times 8 for the white rectangle. So the gray one, when we do 5 times 8, it gives us 40. Okay, and when we do 4 times 8, that gives us 32. Then we're going to add them together, right, both rectangles. Right, so this is 72. Okay, next is this one, and they split it here. So we have 2 here, the 5 up here. So that means that 12 was split into 10 and 2. And you can count the squares if you need to. So first we're going to do the gray. oh, I'm sorry, first we're going to put 10 and 2 because that's what it was split into, 12 was split into. So here we're going to have 5, so it'll be 5 times 10 for the gray. And then over here for the white, 2 times 5. 2 times 5, because we're trying to find area. So 10 times 5 is 50. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 50, that's 60. So the area of the total rectangle, gray and white, is 60. Okay, then we've got this one over here. It was broken apart here. So we have 7 times 13. So here I see 3. So this is 10. Because 10 plus 3 is 13, which is what was broken apart for distributive property. So we're going to break it into 10 and 13. I'm sorry, 10 and 3. 7 times 10, and then 7 times 3. 7 times 10 gives us 70, and 7 times 3 gives us 21. Okay, and then we add them together to get the whole rectangle, gray and white, which is 91. 91. Finally, over here, we split up here. Sorry. We have 9, so we have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 is here. That means this side is the 12. And we're going to split the 12 here. They broke it into 2, so this is 10. So 10 and 2. So now we're going to do the gray, 9 times 10. And then we're going to do the area of the white, which is 9. This is also 9 times 2. Okay, and 9 times 10 gives us 90. 9 times 2 gives us 18. So it is 108. Check your homework. Okay, so I accidentally deleted the final part of this video. So what I did here was that Finn imagined one more row for this problem, which was 9 times 9. So that clearly means that Finn could not figure out what 9 times 9 was, so he added one more row to make it 10 times 9, which is 90. When you subtract 9 from 90, you get 81, which is the area of the rectangle that Finn actually wants, which is the 9 by 9. And for the last one, you're going to be breaking apart 16 and 4 rectangle, this big huge rectangle, into 2 smaller rectangles. So I split it into 10 and 6 rows. So you're going to do first 10 plus 6, which equals 16. You're going to do 10 times 4, which is this one. Then you're going to do 6 times 4, which is this one. When you do 10 times 4, that equals 40. When you do 6 times 4, it equals 24. When you add them together, it equals 64. And that is the homework.